Welcome back to my channel. So today I'm going to be doing an eyeshadow palette review for you guys today. Well, I guess not so much an eyeshadow palette review, but just a demo and swatches on the new Juvia's Place Festival palette. So I say this is not a review because I've done reviews on so many of Juvia's Place palettes in the past. So I'll leave some of those videos linked in the cards if you want to check those out. So I really just want to show you a tutorial on this look that I'm using today and show you swatches of the palette. So we're going to get into a really quick discussion on the palette, I guess, and then we're going to go into the swatches, and then we're going to get on to the eyeshadow tutorial. Don't forget to, when my channel reaches 5,000 subscribers, I will be having my next big giveaway. We are so close to 5,000 subscribers, so don't forget to subscribe for your chance to win. So if you guys want to see how I created this look using the new Juvia's Place Festival palette, then keep on watching. Alright guys, so now I'm going to be just doing a quick overview of the new Juvia's Place Festival palette, and like I said, this is really not going to be a long review because I've done so many reviews on so many Juvia's Place palettes on my channel. So the palette just looks like this, and it comes in a box that looks the same way, and on the box you kind of have like all of your ingredients in the back and everything like that. So when you open up the palette, it's one of their 9-pan palettes. The sizes are huge. If you own any of the, like the Saharian palette or the Douse palette or the Zulu palette, they're pretty much the exact same palettes, exact same pan sizes. So I'm going to really quickly get on to swatches for you guys. Now, of course, all of her shadows swatch really nicely. I did have to do some building on this shade right here, but I think that's like the only shade that I really had to work to build up in my crease, and probably because it's like a lighter shade. But I also don't just jab my brush into it because I know how pigmented her shadows are. So I always go into all of her shadows with a light hand. So that's probably why I had to build up on it so much. But if you apply like a lot of eyeshadow, you know, you don't mind just digging your brush in there, packing a lot of pigment on, then this color won't be a problem. But I kind of like to build on my color. So in this palette you have 1, 2, 3, 4 shimmers, and then the rest 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 mattes. So the whole bottom row are shimmers, and then this color right here, and then the rest of the palette has matte shades. So I wanted to work with like the bright color in the palette, so that's why I did my look with, you know, this shade today, and I tried to incorporate as many colors from this palette as I could. So like I said, I don't want this video to be too long, so I'm going to go ahead and get into the swatches, and then stay tuned if you want to see how I created this look. Alright guys, so here's just a quick overview of the palette. Sorry that I'm holding it off to the side. I'm trying to hold this up like in the air and you know, show you how the palette looks. So this palette retails for $21.50, and the palette will be available for sale on February the 15th. They had it for pre-sale, and that's when I picked it up, but the official release date is the 15th. So I'm going to start swatching, and starting with that matte orange shade. This is Ofra, Yuli, and Azafa. Alright, the next shade is Manu, Irijai, and Oro. This is the second row. And now we're going to move on to the last row in the palette. And this shade is Kaleki, Abba, and Odawu. So this is just all of the swatches of the palette. And then I'm going to show you just a quick overview of the palette again. And now we're going to get on to the eyeshadow tutorial. Alright guys, so I'm starting out with my brows already done, and I used my ColourPop brow pencils to do my brows. And then I just went ahead and moisturized my skin off camera, and I used the Masqueology 24-Hour Gold cream with shimmer. And this is such an awesome cream. It's supposed to hydrate the skin and give you like this sun-kissed glow and fight against fine lines and wrinkles. and it has like a shimmer in it, so you only have to use a little. A little goes a long way, and this is super affordable. It's only $18, and yeah, it just has your skin feeling really nice and soft. So next up, I'm going to prime my eyes with my Urban Decay Eyeshadow Primer Potion in Caffeine. And I love this eyeshadow primer because it kind of acts as a concealer also, because it cancels out the darkness on my lids. And then I'm just going to set my concealer in place with this Ben 9 Banana and Topaz powders that I mixed a while back. And I just pulled it out of my drawer to set my eyelids with it today. Then I'm going to be going into the Juvia's Place Festival palette. And for the first shade for my transition color, I'm going to use the shade Manu. And I'm going to buff this shade all over the crease and a little bit above the crease. Alright, next up I'm going to be going into the shade Ofra, and it's just a burnt orange, and I'm going to apply this directly on top of the Manu shade that I just added. Alright, next up, taking the shade Izafa, I'm going to place this directly in the crease because I wanted to deepen up that crease a little more. But this shade wasn't as deep as I wanted it to be, so I went into another palette. I went into my Saharian 2 palette, and I'm just going to take those 2 darker shades in the bottom of that palette. So I'm just going to take that deep burgundy shade and that brown shade. I'm going to mix them together, and I'm going to apply that in the crease also. I don't have that palette right in front of me, so I don't know those names right off the top of my head. And I'm just going to pack this in the crease. And now I'm just using that same brush that I used to apply Izafa with no extra color on it, and I'm just blending out those harsh lines. And then I'm just taking my fluffy blending brush that I used to apply my transition colors to blend it out a little more. Next up, I'm going to go ahead and cut my crease, and I'm going to be using my Anastasia concealer in the shade 5.0. And I really like this concealer because it's really easy to work with because it's so creamy. But I just have to make sure I set it because it will crease because it's so creamy and thick. Alright, next up I'm going to be taking that Ben powder mixture that I used to set my eyelids, and I'm just going to set that concealer in place. And then I'm going to take the shade Abba from the Festival palette, and I'm going to pack this all over the lid. I wanted to put the Odawu shade, but I kind of figured that would be a little boring, so I don't know, I just wanted to add some color to the look, so I applied the Abba shade. And I really love Arija, which is the hot pink in this palette, but I kind of want to do a pink look for Valentine's Day, so I decided to just save that color. And let me know in the comment section down below what color look you guys want to see me create for Valentine's Day. Alright, so next up we're going to take the black shade in the bottom of the palette, which is Kaleki. And I was kind of scared to use this shade at first because it has like little hints of gold glitter in it. But once you blend it in the crease, once I blend it in the outer V, you really can't tell. So I'm just packing that shade on the outer V, and then I'm going to use a different brush to blend that out. Alright, now I'm just blending that out to make sure there are no harsh edges. Alright, and then I'm just taking that fluffy brush and I'm just blending a little more. And then for some reason, I don't know what happened to the clip of me putting on my brow bone highlight, but I use the shade Odawu. And now I'm just using my Stila eyeliner, and I'm just going to line my top lash line. And then for lashes, I'm going to be using the Ardell Demi Wispies. And then I just applied the rest of my makeup off camera, and I'm going to come back to finish off the rest of my face. So I'm just using my Maybelline, gosh, I forget what the name of it is, but I'll have it in the description box. And I'm pretty much just going to repeat the same steps on the bottom that I did in the crease. Alright, next up for blush, I'm going to be going into my Saharian 1 blush palette. And this is a light palette. And I'm just taking that pink shade at the bottom, and I'm going to use that as my blush today. And then I'm going to go into my Volume 2 palette, which is the dark palette. And I'm going to use that highlighter right at the top. And I'm going to use that to highlight my face today. Alright, next up I'm going to mix the shades Uli and Odawu, because I kind of felt like the white shade was a little too bright, so I wanted to kind of tone it down with that gold shade. So I mixed those two shades together. And then I'm just going to spray my face with some Fix Plus. And I'm going to be using a new liquid lipstick today, and these are from Ofra, and they were so nice to send me these liquid lipsticks. And I really do like this formula because, I mean, it dries down to like a hydrating matte. Like, it's not super matte, but they stay on all day. They're so comfortable to wear. So the shade that I am wearing is Tuscany, and they sent me their vintage collection. And then I'm gonna go on top of that with a MAC Retro Matte liquid lipstick in the shade Burnt Spice, just to lighten it up right in the middle. And that completes the look. Thank you guys so much for watching. Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe for more videos from me. Until the next video.